Okay, good, all right. Okay. High technology. Okay, looks like it's all ready to go. You ready to go? All right, good to go. It's 7:17. As we stated, everybody needs to be aware that the meetings are broadcast live on YouTube. So there'll be 3 meetings tonight that you can scroll or look back through as you feel need to. Call to order. We already had invocation, so first item is resolution 51010, Alan Hudson. Whereas the Town Council of the Town of Central recognizes Alan Hudson for the outstanding job protecting and serving the citizens of Town of Central, and whereas Alan Hudson joined the Central Police Department as a patrol officer on January 15, 2021. Whereas Alan Hudson has become a great asset to the Central Police Department, and whereas Chief Thompson has received numerous calls expressing the outstanding job Alan Hudson is doing, whereas Alan Hudson goes above and beyond the call of duty when protecting and serving the citizens of the Town of Central, and whereas we want to recognize Alan Hudson for his great dedication of the Central Police Department and the citizens of Town of Central. And therefore be it resolved that the Town of Central Town Council duly assembled this 10th day of May 2021 would like to give public thanks to Alan Hudson for the outstanding job he's doing for the Central Police Department. Be it further resolved that this resolution be incorporated in forever part of the minutes of the meeting of the Town of Central held this date. A motion will be in order.
I move that we adopt resolution 510-2021, Alan Hudson.
We have a motion to adopt resolution 510-2021, Alan Hudson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We're all here tonight. All in favor, raise your right hand. Vote's unanimous.
Good job.
Pride. How are you doing there? Good. All right. Good job.
Mayor, we'd like to say too, our recreation department's received so many positive accolades concerning this officer coming in and really working well with folks, especially these big basketball tournaments, disc golf tournaments. So for the rec department, we're very grateful for all you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thanks. We appreciate you staying the whole meeting, but you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
It was, having everybody here is good. It's good to see everybody again after a year, I guess. Thank you. All right, item 2, reading of regular council meeting minutes 4/12/21. We'll start with Mr. Evans. Any changes or corrections?
Not at this time, sir.
None.
No, sir.
None.
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right, a motion will be in order.
I move that we adopt regular council meetings 4/12/2021.
All right, we have a motion to adopt regular council meeting. It's a 4/12/21. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Vote's unanimous. Item 3, public session. Each month, we allow members of the public to address council on any subject up to 30 minutes total. And everybody could address for up to 5 minutes per person. So if anybody wants to address council, please step to the podium and, yes, ma'am.
It's all good, but I have a positive thing.
I have been meaning to send all of y'all an email. I am so thankful and so appreciative that we now have information on the sign out here. I have been coming to these meetings since November and have been asking, for other ways for other citizens to get involved and know what was going on. So we did it. We did it. I don't know how, Philip, we did it, but whoever's doing it, I just thank you. It is a good thing to have people involved and know what's going on. And I walk by this sign almost every day and I see the information, so it reminds me. So I hope that other people in Central will get involved and we can make a better community. So thank you very much. I very much appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for commenting. Anybody else? Okay, so we'll move on to item 4, receipt and disposition of petitions. Mr. Administrator, you have any petitions?
None at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, item 5, reports from council committees. A, planning, Ms. Bowers.
I want to thank our Planning Commission member Ted Balk for his service to the Planning Commission. He has stepped down. So I would like to, there is an application for Aaron Ash in your packet, so I move that we accept Aaron Ash's application to the Planning Commission.
All right, we have a motion to appoint Aaron Ash to the Planning Commission. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Vote is unanimous. Anything else, Ms. Bowers?
Our next planning meeting will be Tuesday the 18th.
All right. And maybe we should buy some pizza for the Planning Commission. They've been doing a lot of hard work lately.
Maybe we can do better than pizza.
It's been a lot of work in a small amount of time, for sure. Okay, thanks for your report.
Thank you.
All right, streets and public safety, Mr. Moss.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to just thank Brother Houston for what he does for the police department. And coming up on June the 5th, we have our Unity in the Community, our first annual event. And this will be happening on Bolick Field for family fun, games and food to bring our community close together. We're going to have preaching, singing, preaching, and then we're going to give away, 10, 15 prizes, and then we'll do it again. I want to ask everybody to bring out at least, do your best with canned goods. With the one we did in Pendleton, we loaded up a whole pickup truck load and took them to Clemson Community Bank. So we just grateful enough to be in this area where we can bless other people as we grow closer together. Looking to have a great time. Just come out and share it with us. Thank you, brother, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thanks for your report. Item C, finance and marketing, Ms. Chapman.
Yes, I'm sure you've had a chance to look at your financial report, and general fund is good, the sewer fund is good, the sanitation fund is good, water fund is still in the red, $87,777. Once again, I will defer to Mr. Mishu if he could possibly enlighten us as to what might be going on there.
It's like we discussed at the last meeting. We're just we're using less water, therefore we're continuing to end up in the red each month. So that's where the source of it is. So we're 8 out of 10 months we've ended up in the red. So we're gonna have to make some changes to try to stop the bleeding a little bit.
I'm just gonna suggest something, and I'm not a budget person or anything, but is there any way we could possibly buy less water?
We buy water as we need it. So it's not like we pre-buy the water and hope we sell it. If we don't have a user, the water doesn't come.
So it's not like if I was to go to the grocery store and I was gonna buy, 3-4 items, and I realized I didn't have enough money, I just put 1-2 of them back on the shelf.
That's correct. You can't do that.
Okay.
What's happening is it costs a certain amount of money to run the water department, whether we have a paying customer or not. And that's where we're at. We're at fixed cost. It takes fixed cost to run the water department. regardless of whether we sell one drop of water, the bill is still gonna be the same. The only difference is gonna be how much water we bought and how much water we sold. But the things that it takes to run the water department, those numbers don't change from month to month. And what's happening is we're selling less water, so our fixed costs are remaining the same. There's not a whole lot we can do about the fixed costs.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
But we also budget what we think we will sell.
That's
right?
correct. Mhm.
And then part of our budget is built on that. So part of the deficit is when we don't sell the amount that we thought we were, then it creates a deficit.
That's correct.
Right. So you understand? Yeah. We're not, it's not like we're pre-buying water. It's just that we're estimating.
Yeah, that's correct.
So should we
As
change
we
our,
need it, the water's gonna come either from Easley Central Water District or from Anderson Regional Joint Water.
should we maybe change our estimate? I'm just trying to think outside the box.
Yeah, we probably need to look at the estimates and see if we need to change the estimates on the revenue. I'd have to look, let me look at the financial statement, and see how much we're off. We should be at 83.3, that's the ideal percent. So our revenue is about what it should be when I projected it. It's just that our expenses are going up. But yeah, we probably could change our projections, and I can look at the water budget for next year and see if the projections need to be adjusted between now and the second reading, and maybe base it on that.
Thank you.
And we had a pandemic. I mean, Southern Wesleyan sent all the students home.
Yeah,
And
half of our
Clemson
residents-
had sent students home, and so a lot of people weren't here to use water.
half of our residents were gone.
Yeah, and it becomes difficult to try to project because I project based on historical data. I've got the last 13 years worth of water usage and sewer. So I think that's why when I initially started the budget was, I really don't know, because I don't know what happened with the pandemic, and I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. I think if Clemson opens their doors back up and SWU opens their doors back up in the fall, our water usage should increase. The other thing is, when you have a lot of rain, you're not watering your grass, you're not washing your cars, and that makes a difference. You wouldn't think it would, but it really does. My neighbor's the one that waters grass. I don't water my grass, period. I don't care how dry it is or how wet it is. But, you know, I've got neighbors that water their grass consistently if it's not raining. We don't water, we haven't watered the rec grass. You know, the rec grass is,
It takes several hundred thousand of gallons for us during the season, and last year it was way down. We didn't have to run water.
so I think that's part of it. But I can't, when I'm projecting revenue, I can't factor in, well, what's the weather gonna be like for the next 12 months? Are people gonna water their grass, and, you know, so on and so forth. So we could look at that again and maybe lower the revenue projections.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for your report. Item D, recreation, Mr. Deal.
Yes, sir. Just like, in case people don't know, we had a big disc golf tournament this past weekend. The number one pro player in the nation was here, and it was a huge success. And so I want to thank everyone that had a part in that and worked with that. It was great to have all these people in town, and it was packed out at the disc golf facility. I also like to confirm that we are going to have a Shaq Lawson Community Day at Bullock Field on Saturday, June the 12th. Football camp will run from 9 to 11. Then they'll feed all the participants and parents from 11 to 12, and then Community Day from 12 to 3. There'll be inflatables and games and food and visit with Shaq at the Cannon Park area at Bullock Field. so Shaq grew up in Central and playing sports here, and he now plays for the Houston Texans, and so it's a great thing for us to be able to have him come back and let our kids aspire to that kind of thing. So just wanted to make you aware of that. That's all I have.
All right, thanks for your report. Item E, Enterprise, Mr. Holliday.
Yes, sir. Sanitation Department operated on a normal schedule for the month of April. Had 149 total work orders for the month of April, which is a little bit high. But other than that, it's pretty much a normal month. Thank you.
All right, thanks for your report. Item F, Tourism and Economic Development, Mr. Evitt.
Nothing at this time to report, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks for your report. All right, item 6, new business. We have nothing in new business. Item 7, old business, nothing under old business. Item 8, introduction and consideration of new ordinances, policies, proclamations, and resolutions. First reading of ordinance 6/8, 2020 BU. Budget. Be it ordained by the governing body of the town of Central and council duly assembled by the authority of the same. Section 1, attached budgets and estimates of revenue for payment of same are hereby adopted and made part hereof as if fully incorporated therein. That the tax to cover the period from July 1st, 2021 to June 30, 2022, both inclusive for sums, shall be $7.30 on $100 of assessed value, making a total tax levy of 73 mills. Let's see, public hearing will be held on Monday, June 14th at 6:45 for the second reading of the budget. Pass me that.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, we have one recusal from the 18 fund. So we'll take the budget and vote on the budget with a separation of funds.
Can I ask one quick question?
Yes, ma'am.
The mills that you talked about, is that an increase from years past, or is it the same? Okay.
It's the same.
Same number. Now, just to clarify the number, if you look at some of our budgets, there's different numbers. Whenever the county reassesses and they increase the property value, we have to roll back the mills to make the money revenue neutral. So I think the last time we did that was 3 or 4 years ago. I think every 5 years they do it.
It's actually last year.
Last year? Okay. So it's a different number, but it's the revenue is the same.
Thank you.
Let's do the 18 fund. Chair moves to adopt ordinance 614, 2021 BU pertaining only to the 18 fund sanitation. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Votes unanimous with one recusal. All right, Chair moves to adopt ordinance 614, 2021 BU budget for the remaining funds containing 10 fund, 12 fund, 13 fund, 20 fund, 30 fund, 32 fund, 33 fund, 35 fund, 40 fund, 50 fund, 60 fund, 71 fund, 80 fund. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I needed to discuss some changes.
All right. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Recreation Center budget changed a little bit, I think by about $3,000 or $4,000, so that it would match what Clemson had, so that's not a really big issue, but I got that straightened out. I did want to talk about the sewer budget. We got some numbers back, and Dean and the Public Works Department has been piecemealing, doing some changes at the South Plant. And this year he was supposed to do some grading work and some concrete work. for a total of $80,000. And over the years, we have been putting this money back so that we would be able to do this piecemeal. And next budget year, we're scheduled to do some more work. We didn't have an estimate for that, and the $80,000 that we had set aside in this budget did not get done. One of the reasons is that we've been having trouble finding contractors to do the work. So we're going to, we needed to take the $80,000 that we had set aside in this budget and roll it into next year's budget. And contractor out there, we need to get him to do the work. So what he's going to do is we're going to do some grading work. We're going to expand some of the bays so that the equipment can fit under there. And there's a shed over there that's falling down. The recreation department uses that area right now. It's falling down anyway. And kind of clean up that area because we fixed up the depot. So it's not only going to be used by the Public Works Department, but we're also going to have that to the sewer budget.
Is this thing for the walking trails, is that part of the budget? Is it?
No, that's separate. That's going to be something you need to bring up in your mayor's report.
All right.
Because that's going to be in this current budget.
Philip, does that take that fence down that's around the depot as well, or just that shed that's falling down?
The fence is going to come down, that shed is going to come down, and I'm not sure, we're going to clean that area up. And, we're going to clean that area up. And, because it naturally goes down anyway.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Got Dean here, maybe he can shed some more light on, what that money's going to be used for.
Everybody good? Budget? I'll probably drag out and make some comparisons, but I think you'll find that our budget this year is pretty much the same as 10 years ago. There's not much change. All right, any other discussion? Everybody aware of the motion? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. Votes unanimous. Okay, item 8, number 2, first reading of ordinance 6/8/2020 recreation budget. Be it ordained by the mayor and town council being duly assembled, raise revenue and adopt a recreation budget for the town of Central, South Carolina for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021 and ending June 30, 2022. Tax budgets. Public hearing for this recreation budget will be Monday, June 14th, 2021 at 6:45 in conjunction with the general fund budget. The town council and administrator shall administer this budget, may authorize the transfer of appropriated funds within fund types and between departments as it seem necessary to achieve goals. A motion would be in order. Recreation budget.
I make a motion that we adopt on first reading of ordinance 6/8/2020 RB.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt the first reading of 6/8/2020 RB. We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
The changes that we voted on in the first meeting we had this evening with the Clemson City Council, are those reflected in our budget that we have? Okay.
Yeah, that was part of me making a few adjustments, was to match that up.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Votes unanimous. All right, item 9, consideration of ordinances, policies already in possession. Council, second reading of ordinance 5/10/21, natural space residential district. Whatever that is. Okay, be it ordained by the mayor and town council, Town Central. Town Central is deemed it necessary to adopt a natural space district ordinance, and whereas the planning commission has recommended the natural space district ordinance read as follows. and it will be the one that we went through in the public hearing. So I'll submit that to the clerk for the minutes and a call for motion. Chair moves to adopt on second reading ordinance 510-2021 Natural Space Residential District. Do we have a second?
Second, when do you want me to make my amendment?
Yeah, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So I assume Lawton Road would be a natural space residential district?
If they decide to apply for the zoning.
Okay. Well, I have a question, maybe an understanding. When it was talking about required buffers and also the setback, this is referring to the external part. So if, let's just say this is land right here, and this is the residence coming in, and I own land right here beside it. It says you can't put a structure within 50 feet of it. If I own this structure at the bottom, a fence would be considered a structure. And by passing this, could I put a fence or could I not put a fence by the way it reads?
On your property or on the natural area? Is that,
By the way it's written, it doesn't matter if it's the natural zone, it says within 50 feet of it.
there is a buffer, an external buffer of 50 feet all the way around exterior lot line.
Correct.
So if you're with, you can't put anything within the 50 feet of that external lot line. If you're at 51 feet, you could put a fence, but you can't put it at 50.
So if my land butts up to it, I can't put a fence at the border of my land and that property until I'm 51 feet away from that property. Is that correct?
That should be included in the natural area, so it should not be,
So
they
no
have to
fence.
decide.
Or if his parcel was in a different zoning district because the line between your parcel and the natural zoning district was property line, I don't think the natural zoning district would apply to your property because you're in a different zone.
So even though it does say within, I mean, it doesn't.
Within the natural zone.
Okay.
Right.
Not within your property, just within this property.
Right.
So you're not part of that property.
I think that would be, Kurt, does that sound?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you got it, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, okay.
If you're not within the parcel, then you're not subjected to.
Right, yeah, this is not automatically binding on every parcel in Central, it's just the ones that are subject to natural zoning if they so apply, or voted to, be accepted as natural zone.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that's a good question. Any other discussion?
I would like to make an amendment to the zoning, please, sir. I would like to make, add a variation from standards, that states variation from standards may be permitted if the natural area zoning creates unusable land. A comprehensive site plan will need to be submitted at the time of rezoning. If it is found to be suitable and generally consistent with the intention of the natural area zone with agreement of the zoning official and the majority of the planning commission, then the variance will be granted.
Okay, that's a motion. Do we have a second? I'll second that. Just so we can talk about any discussion on the
What we're
amendment.
voting on right now is just this.
Just the amendment, what we're
Okay.
talking about, we have the entire zoning on the table, and then we have a motion for an amendment, and it's been seconded, so we'll discuss the amendment and vote on the amendment, then back to the original item. So the purpose of this will be if these setbacks and buffers created a dead zone or unusable, then the person that owned the property could apply to the zoning official and the planning committee majority to access their property. And then this will be part of a zoning request, so it would also come to council. So this would have, if somebody requested relief because their land was unusable because of the ordinance, they would have to go through zoning official, majority planning committee, and council, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, just so I make sure I understand. Okay, any other discussion on the amendment? All right, we'll have a vote on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment as stated, raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3. All opposed to the amendment? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, amendment fails. And then we'll go to the any other discussion on the ordinance as written. All in favor of the ordinance as written, raise your right hand. All opposed? Okay, motion carries 6-1. All right, that takes us to item 9, number 2. Reading of ordinance 510-2021, Duke. Whereas the municipal electric service agreement between the town of Central and Duke Energy Carolinas dated April 15, 2009 shall be extended for 10 years. The policy will be effective July 1st, 2021, and expire June 30, 2031. Motion will be in order.
I move that we adopt ordinance 510-2021, Duke on second reading.
All right, we have a motion to adopt on second reading ordinance 510-2021. Duke, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, vote's unanimous. Item number 10, reports from the administrator and mayor. A, administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The traffic study, I'm going to meet with the engineer this week, and hopefully by next work session, I'll have a estimate on how much it's going to cost to do a study on how to handle the traffic over there. Update on the stormwater drain at the park, it's complete. The only thing left to do is to go back and get the irrigation lines laid back down, and then we should be good to go down there. I don't think we'll have any problems with that drain in the foreseeable future. Any questions from council? Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks for your report. Item B, mayor's report. And we received a thank you card from Daniel High School. And appreciate that. And then the Blue Note, we've figured out, Philip, primarily is how to fund the remainder of the first section of the Green Crescent Trail. You want to go over the details?
Yeah, as we discussed at the work session, we were $150,000 short. I think we've got $20,000 coming from a private donor, and then the balance of I think 30 or 50,000 is going to come from a corporate sponsor. So that leaves about $94,000 that will be left. And then I've got there in front of the mayor how I propose to fill that gap, that $94,000.
$75,000 in TIF and $19,000 hospitality.
That's correct.
So you'd like to have a vote on this to proceed, or?
Yes, yes, thank you.
All right. This is what we talked about at work session last week. Move on with the construction of the Green Crescent Trail. And this is it. We'll get this, they can get started and get this thing underway. So first I'll move to add the agenda, funding of Green Crescent Trail. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
What were those numbers again coming from?
All right, from the TIF is $75,000. And from hospitality, 19,000. From a corporate sponsor was 50, right?
That's correct.
And then a private donor for 20. Any other discussion? All right.
Just to make sure, we're gonna vote first.
This is add to the agenda, yeah.
And then the second time we'll vote.
For the money, yeah. Okay, this is the add to the agenda. All in favor, raise your right hand. Vote unanimous. Okay, chair moves to approve the funding to completion of the first section of Green Crescent Trail as stated. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Vote unanimous. And that's all for that. Item 11, executive session. We have a need to enter executive session. Chair moves to enter executive session pursuant to South Carolina Code of Laws, Section 30-40-70, parentheses, A, parentheses, 1. Legal issues, Section 30-40-70, parentheses, A, parentheses, 2. This is an item concerning a potential sale of property. That's the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Vote's unanimous. And if anybody wants to hang around, we probably will have an action item vote after the executive session. So we'll get executive session and be back shortly. You'll need this.
Is it in our packet?
It's in your, it's not, it's in your packet.
Seal on it right there. Some of your last sheet or next to last sheet.
I'm using my change.
I gave it to you. I told you to check you out.
When I get out of here with all this, I'll be doing good.
Susan, did you put my check up here? Okay.
You get
You
yours
can get
Thursday.
home, you
You what?
You get yours Thursday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, you ready? Okay. Council resumed, return from executive session, no decisions were made, only information was shared. And that takes us to the last item on the agenda, which is ordinance 510-2021 sale. Whereas the town of Central owns certain unimproved real properties located on Main Street and Broad Street, South Carolina, being identified by the included tax map numbers. Town of Central is deemed it advisable to sell properties to Sean and Nina Standifer pursuant to their offer to pay $86,800 plus other considerations with a lease purchase agreement. And whereas the town of Central has deemed it advisable to sell properties 4064-10-46-7714 to Lindsey Burns and Samantha Wood pursuant to their offer to pay $5,000 plus other considerations. Now therefore be it ordained by the mayor and town council that properties located on West Main Street and Broad Street identified by tax map numbers be sold to Sean and Nina Standifer pursuant to their offer to lease purchase. Attached are the contracts of these agreements. There in the minutes. Okay, motion will be in order.
I move that we adopt on second reading ordinance 510-2021 sale.
We have a motion to adopt on second reading 510-21 sale. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Looks unanimous. I'd like to state that it's nice to be able to record votes. without having to stare at computer screens and phones. And that's all I have. Without objection, meeting's adjourned. Susan, there's the numbers and there's the refusal. I'll just hang on to the numbers.
I hope to see us all out June the 5th. We're gonna start at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Green bean.
We'll be eating.
Lots of green beans.
See, please don't bring green beans. You bring corn, you bring meat and vegetables, you bring, I'm not telling you, corn today, green beans tomorrow.
All right.